I've been talking about it, but I find that nobody really cares. I do. I care about it.
The media is waking up to the fact that excess deaths are a thing and have been since the pandemic and specifically the vaccine rollout. Way to catch up after years of.
I watched one by one as multiple bodies were removed from my 40 East Hastings place where I used to live and across the street and everywhere in the neighborhood. I was fairly aware. In fact, if you Google my Debbie Hellion, you'll see that I'm an anti-jab. Someone called me out for an anti-jab. No, pro-choice. Pro-choice. I could never be that narrow-minded. I am not a medical person. And quite frankly, I'm a little more accurate than science sometimes. So, yeah, I totally said no. Especially after all the bodies that were rolled past my apartment. Anybody that was that ignorant to say anti-jab or even write that article about me, I'm really sorry for you. But I could never be as ignorant as you. I'm not a medical person. I'm not going to tell people or gaslight people into getting an experiment. Absolutely not. My government, Canada, is not even trustworthy. They're giving peaceful deaths out to people for free. And these peaceful deaths are what? Let me see. Oh, yeah. They're chemical drownings. This shouldn't even be legal internationally. And if you take the pill, you could have up to 24 hours of drowning, of pure torture. And that's a peaceful death for my leaders in Canada. So, yeah, of course I'm not going to trust them. Finally, it's coming out. You never hear sorry from any of these people that were pushing people into getting a jab by calling them anti-jabbers. Never sorry from these people.
The matter. Now, the headline from the Telegraph today, the first corporate media headline of its kind, despite, of course, excess deaths happening since 2020 at least. Well, someone who was warning about this all along is Dr. Kelly Victory. She joins us today and is a first-time guest on Redacted. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me.
So, okay, let's go over this study because the media is like, oh, what's this? Excess deaths, despite having no curiosity about it. So why is this a groundbreaking study?
Well, as you pointed out, I and others have been bringing this to light now for almost 3 years. The fact that the mainstream media is just waking up, I guess, is to be expected. The reality is that we've had the data, and the data are irrefutable. We've seen a significant uptick in all-cause mortality in pretty much every civilized country, around the globe. We have data going back to 2020, and interestingly, the excess deaths did not begin then. This most recent study from Germany showed that they looked at excess deaths beginning, meaning if you look at deaths from all causes and say, how many deaths would we normally expect in a year? And they compared the deaths in 2020 to that. And they said the deaths from all causes were pretty much on par in 2020, despite the fact that we were in the very serious Delta wave of COVID. There wasn't a significant increase in in
every week, just about, I was on the death thing, and I did not see an uptake in 2020. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I thought Canadians were supposed to be smart. They'd be looking at, statistics like me, but it didn't show up in statistics. And I reported on that. Of course, I talked about the flu too much and lost my channel. This is how stupid people are on Reddit. So there's a video they're talking about that I uploaded. I come out of my apartment and there's a man fighting the cop on Hastings Street. And they're worried about my mental illness, which is post-traumatic stress. Or they're gaslighting me, pretending to be, like anyone could be normal in my fucking neighborhood. Even the court system wants to run away. You forgot a racist. There's never evidence. Look at, they're even gaslighting someone that qualifies for euthanization, was sick for 3.5 years from the urine smells down here. Have to take medication. Been to the hospital multiple times. No one got a Q-tip up my nose and unjabbed. So that would be gaslighting, QAnon. I mean, you got to be crazy 6 months ago to even mention that. If anyone didn't figure out in the 6 months that QAnon was probably a government psyop, nothing came out of it. It was a nothing burger. And anti-vaxxer, that is a person pretending they're a medical person, and they are gaslighting you. So this straight AD 8596 is nothing but a fucking idiot with mental issues. These are definitely, when you have mental issues, you're going to say racist. You're not going to say how or present any evidence. QAnon, you're going to say that word, not present any evidence, because I never mentioned that. An anti-vaxxer, well, now you think you're a medical person and you're gaslighting people with an experiment vaccination, and you're probably not smart enough to mention what is in the vaccinations. Not an idea. So that's what we got going on.
Yeah. Get a real job. Taxpayers are sick of paying for you fuckers.
And this is Trey Hilton. You know? A stalker. A freaking stalking someone. You know? That wants the neighborhood better. That's how racist he is. How racist this person that wrote that
Trey,
out.
you spent a number of years down here dealing with your addiction.
Yeah. Anyway, apparently, I don't know, I've heard he's unemployed. He's probably flopping around on the neighborhood anymore. Not mad at him anymore. He's a fucking idiot. He's not worth it. Kind of feel sorry for him, because if he gets back on the hard drugs, he has a bad chance of dying. And even if I don't like him, I don't want him dead. Even if he looks like a freak. Could you imagine thinking someone would have a crush on that? He doesn't even have a nice body. He has a creepy marshmallow looking body. It looks like shit. Everything about him is unsexy. It screams, I am a freak. Poor Trey. Quit his job. Trey, if you quit your job, don't go back on the fucking hard drugs. Chances are you'll be dead shortly. It happens so often down here. This was like getting to my door during the pandemic. I was forced to inhale fentanyl, and they're pretending that they actually care about our health. No, I couldn't have been stupid enough to get the jab. Almost everybody in my building died, and never once did I gaslight someone to get a jab, except for one person. Hey, buddy, you're an idiot. I think you need more jabs. Just joking. Just joking. No. So, going into my apartment like this during the frickin' pandemic, and people thought I was going to get a jab. You have to be sick in the head. Sick in the head. And it's your choice to get a jab. But if you get a jab, don't come around me. I don't need your shedding. Most people aren't even... I bet you that guy doesn't even know jabs shed. Everyone sheds. Probably doesn't have an idea about that. So, yeah, I don't need your seeing in me. But to expect me to get a jab when that was our self-distancing, or, 3 feet distancing, was crazy.